7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm
like, well, holy shit, that was crazy.
Alright, what is up, guys? Welcome to a special edition show of the Moto Aftermath show here, presented by TLR Coatings. We are doing 250 East preview here, so just a couple paperwork things. Number one, make sure to smash that subscribe and that like button for us. Really help us out, and we do need more subscribers so that we can get the channel monetized again, because apparently that's not a thing anymore. So yeah, so we need that anyway. Right as of right now, we're not monetized, so if you do want to help support the show, there's Amazon links in the description, there is a Teespring link in the description, and there's also a Patreon link in the description that will help us out. And you can click on any of those, buy t-shirts, buy anything on Amazon, just donate some money, whatever you want to do. If you want to follow us for some more content, Facebook is the main place at the Moto Aftermath Show, and then Instagram, you can follow me on there too. When I go to the races, I post stuff a lot because I'll take pictures and videos and things like that for the races I get to. So that's basically all the paperwork. 250 East. Now, are we on the same page that 250 East is not as stacked as the West Coast was?
Oh, I mean...
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we were on that same page, because when we were just briefing on this a little bit, we weren't in agreement.
I will say with a caveat. I will say with a caveat though about we do agree that it's not like the same. I will say though the caveat to it is if the guys on the East live up to their potential, I think it could be as stacked as the West. But because a lot of the guys on the East, we have some veterans, some new kids that have been only in it a year, it's very up and down. I'm just saying that if they live up to their potential that we all think they can, I think it could be close. But I think when we go to the East-West shootouts, it'll be very apparent which coast is faster. So yes. Okay,
cool. So we're going to start with one of the, I guess you call it, lower teams, and kind of work our way up to the defending champ is how we're going to do this. So anyway, first team we're going to start with, what are they?
Redemption Racing.
Redemption Racing.
Put on by Club MX. KTM.
Redemption!
It's the team Cade Clayson was on last year.
Cade Clayson. Hashtag free Clade.
Yeah, he's working with FXR. So
yeah, whatever. Anyway, so Josh Osby, Joey Crown. I don't really know how Crown's going to do in Supercross. I know
he's been riding good. He's been riding.
Like I say, I've seen him ride outdoors and stuff, and he seems to be okay. Osby
is a wild card to me.
He is,
because we know how good he is outdoors, and he should have won the freaking Canadian Championship had a pole not been 10 feet on the track.
Well, and we also watched him ride Arena Cross last year, and
he ain't scared
really well. He's not scared to throw it in no more. So that could be an interesting team.
They have a good backing, like I said, Redemption Racing. They have been a team in Canada. They've had, they've hosted 450 guys, 250 guys, so this ain't just some willy-nilly team. They're going to have a semi. I can't exactly know who's doing the motor. I think John Bundy Mitchell, who used to do the JGR motors, is doing their motors, so they're going to be fast. Man, I don't know about Joey, because Joey, to me, he's a Michigan kid. Everybody knows we're from Michigan. I've grown up watching Joey from kids that I've helped that race Joey. Let's just say on the nice side of things, Joey is accident prone. When he gets hurt, it usually is pretty significant. I'm not going to say he's made of glass because the kid has bulked up. But as for Josh Osby, are we in agreement that if Josh rides like he does in Arena Cross and actually stays on two wheels, that he could be top 10 every weekend?
Yes.
The kid's very fast.
Top 10 guy.
Well, look what he did. Like it's obviously not a good comparison because it's outdoors, but he went to Red Bud National, first time at a national since the year before with a disastrous team with Albertson, and he was close to the top 10 every moto.
Yep. So
Osby's very fast. Great technique. Love watching the kid ride. Very fluid. But the problem is both him and Joey have brain farts every now and then. Like Josh, I don't hope this happens, but Josh is the kid that will literally jump out in free practice and put in a heater first lap and then ragdoll over the triple the next lap. That's Josh Osby in a nutshell. So I'm not going to give a prediction on Crown, but Osby can be top 10 every weekend if he stays on two wheels.
Sure.
So
that's pretty much all I got on them. So
yeah, well, I mean, there's not a lot of hype around them. They're going to be a good satellite team.
Yep. Okay. Next team. team up on the list here. Traders Racing, Luke Rensland,
They're on
Jace
Yamahas
Pennington.
this year.
They're on Yamahas again?
Yes.
Okay, good. You talk about Pennington because I don't know much about him. You don't know much about him.
I know
Great.
a lot about. I know.
Good segment. We're out.
No, I know a
Next
lot.
team.
I know a lot about Jace, but the problem is that kind of like with Josh and Joey, he hasn't been really able to put two races together in a very long time. He trains down at GPF with Jacob Williamson and Richie Jackson. He's fast, but he's one of those kids that he could either get top 15 in a main or go like 3 rounds without making a main. Yeah, well, you know what? You know what's funny about that? It's not. I don't even know if you really call it funny. The kid he's replacing, Nick Gaines, is also known for the same thing.
Oh God.
So it's like, dude, you're basically taking one and substituting for the other. Jace, no, like
At least the expectations aren't too
yes.
high.
I don't mean to diss on Jace. It's just Jace has been doing this he's been doing it his whole entire career. He literally can come out and kill at one race and then just hit the deck lap after lap after lap. Jace is just going to be a kid that until he proves me otherwise, I say he makes every main, but I don't really even know where I put him.
Okay, so his teammate Rensland, what do you think he does this year?
Rensland is another guy that I have a lot of hope for if he lives up, because we saw how good it happened at the end of Outdoors when he actually got a start. I mean, good God, he was running top 3 at Redbud for like 20 minutes or whatever it was. Man, I want to say that I think Luke can get top 5s if everything goes right, but dude, I don't know what it is with the cloud.
I think he can, but he just has had, like you said, this cloud in Supercross that he cannot get it going anywhere.
Are we in agreement that in this 250 class, and I don't know if it's really good assessment to say the 250 class because there is a lot of unproved guys, that he has been probably the most underachieved guy that was projected to do better.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, because like most people, when he came out of the pros, I remember when he came into the pros riding for Rock River, he just come off a Loretta Lynn's championship in 450A, and people were like, "Oh, dude, Luke can get top 3 in Supercross and top 5 outdoors," and I think he only has like 1 top 5 in Supercross.
Yes.
So I think things can trend up for him, but it's one of those things that until it happens, I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen.
Yep. So. And then, the next one's only got 1 rider on it, so let's just move teams here.
Anthony Rodriguez.
Rocky Mountain team here. A-Rod. Yeah, I don't have high expectations for him.
Dude,
I think he's a main event guy, but he's like on a good day sniffing 10th place.
Which sucks for A-Rod because he's literally been through the ringer and back. He was projected to do very well when he went out as a rookie and rode for Star. Got a couple top 5s at some nationals. Was top 10 speed in Supercross. Got hurt. Bounced around to a few different teams, did the privateer 450 thing, went over and rode for the factory Honda team at the GPs this last summer. All I'll say about A-Rod is that he's very fast, but he's in a situation where that if he bombs this year, he's probably not going to ever get a ride for somebody ever again.
Yep.
I don't know.
He's just been unimpressive.
He has.
His whole career here.
Pretty much injuries and stuff have set him back pretty far.
The only reason I kind of know who he is because he was in that Moto movie.
Oh, okay.
One of the motos.
Oh, where he was putting in motos in the woods?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all right. So that's been the Rocky Mountain and the Traders team. And we'll move on now to the next one. All right, moving on. Getting into our first factory team here. JGR. Is this the weakest factory team you've ever seen?
Well, are you talking about as a whole for both East and West, or just the East?
Yeah.
Coast? Well, I don't know, man. I think you're being too harsh on him. I think you say that because Kyle Peters is his teammate. Because let's be real, Jimmy D is fast. We saw how good he did at the end of last year.
Jimmy D is fast, but I'm nervous of Jimmy D on this new bike.
Well, we just see to prove it can win, finally. And Phil's been top 10 on it when he, hasn't died.
Which he has ever.
When he hasn't died or gotten landed on.
So, yeah, Jimmy D I'm okay with as a secondary guy, but they don't have a first guy on this coast is the problem. Because you have Kyle Peters as the other guy, and Kyle Peters I have literally no expectations for. If Kyle Peters puts it in every single main, I'm going to be impressed at this point.
I think Kyle Peters will put it in every single main, but I think that Kyle is just kind of doing this to make money because his real goal is he actually, after this is over with, goes and gets his ride in Australia for the Outdoor Championship again in the 450 class. I think he's another kid that just doesn't want to be on a 250 anymore, but he's not good enough to make a 450 squad, even a satellite team. Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing. I think Peters will make every main, but he's pretty much his whole entire career, other than like 2 races, been an 8th to 12th guy, mainly on the back end of that. Jimmy D, though,
Jimmy D's top 10.
I have expectations for him because I think he can be a top 5 guy, but he's been in it for so long, and you're like, man,
How wild would it be if he put on the podium with a JGR bike as opposed to the Geico bike he had last year?
Well, he did lead a main for 12 laps.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy D can be a top 5 guy, but the problem is like I said, he's been doing this for so long. You start to wonder if things aren't going right for him, if he gets in this mindset where things just start going south and he just starts to give up a little bit because he's been through this grind for so many years now. I mean, I think he's either my age or he's 27, and he's been pro for almost 10 years now. I mean, he's been doing this for a very long time. Man, I don't know. I don't really have expectations for Jimmy D other than I think he can be top 5 if he keeps on 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those teams that it's like if it doesn't even get close to the top 5 compared to its counterpart on the West Coast, you're gonna be kind of sitting back, and especially if you're J-Bone, you're like, man, did I really make a good decision with these guys? Especially Jimmy D going outdoors.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of expectations with that team, period, for the East Coast.
Do you think he at least gets top 5 one main? Jimmy D, that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. Next team. All right, next team on the list.
Travis thinks it's a weak team.
I was going to say this is where we start to differ a little bit on our decision making. Pro Circuit, Monster Energy, Kawasaki.
I think you're lit. I'm sorry, you're lit.
Why am I lit?
Okay, Fortner, if you would have been watching his testing, has come back a lot sooner.
I follow him on Instagram. I watch everything.
So have you seen his speed?
Doc said my wrist wouldn't be hurt.
Have you seen his speed? Can you say his speed? Can you say he doesn't look good? Can you say his speed doesn't look good?
I didn't say he didn't look good, but okay. What did he do in Supercross last year?
Other than the third in Arlington, he knocked himself out.
Thank you.
Okay.
So exactly.
A year more experience learning how to back it down, and we even said this in our group text when me and Matt were going back and forth that
I don't always read all those, so don't.
Well, you should.
Don't put. No,
you should, because I read
37 text messages.
I read all your
later.
crap. I read all your crap.
I only
All right, we're getting off topic.
I'm arguing with you.
Yeah, we get off topic. I think Fortner has the speed to podium almost every race, but the problem is that he hit the deck way too many times, and when things weren't clicking, he kept pushing the pace, and he wasn't in the right mental spot or physically ready. I think a year in this longer, a little bit more time with Mitch. Now he's training down at the goat farm. Him and Ricky have had a long relationship since Austin. Well, he's still young, but because of Fox, Austin has rode at his house a lot. They've done these photo shoots in Costa Rica, so he thought it was a good idea with him being east to go down to Ricky's farm, train with him and Jeannie. I think that if Fortner has learned to back it down and relax himself and let the track come to him, he will be a podium guy every race, and he will even get a win. But that's the issue, is has he learned? He's been doing this for 2.5 years now, because he obviously didn't race Supercross his first year. Doing this for 2.5 years now. Last year was a bomb. I will say this, and I don't think I've ever said this about somebody that's only been doing it for 2 years, but because there's so much hype around this kid, that if he doesn't do anything this year, it's done. It's over. Like, nobody is going to keep giving chances to this kid. And what I mean by that is, let me specify, because he missed like 3 rounds in Supercross, he missed the whole back half of outdoors. If he can only compete 50% of the year, and he is just out with concussions, which that's why he ended outdoors, because he hit the deck after Southwick and couldn't go to Washougal. If he only competes 50% of the year, I think that Pro Circuit drops his ass next year, and he's looking for a ride on a team like Redemption Racing or a lower paying spot at like TLD KTM. Because I don't think people are going to keep giving this kid chances to like, hey, finally figure it out. Because he hasn't done anything. Like, all the hype, what has he done since that rookie year at Outdoors?
Smith still got a ride.
Smith actually made it through a whole season, though. That's the difference.
I guess. I don't know about that whole dropping him thing, but I think this is...
Well, how would you keep giving him the benefit of the doubt?
You know, I ask myself that a lot with a lot of these guys.
Well, the difference, though, with Fortner, though, is because it's been his first 2 years. Mm-hmm. With other guys, they've had good years and then fallen off and then had good years. Fortner's first 2 years have been bombs. Like, he hasn't done anything. That's the difference. And as for Davalos, I don't know how you don't have any confidence in him after he actually did better outdoors on a 450 than all of us expected.
Yeah, but he's still riding a 250 indoors.
Has he not
don't get
been
me wrong,
podium guy?
he's gonna be all right.
Has he not? He was a podium guy last year on the West Coast.
Every year, he just is a year. You know, it's kind
I'm not saying he's
of
gonna
like
win
that
championship.
Matthew McConaughey movie. Every year I get a year older.
I'm not saying
they
he's
stay the same.
I'm not
like,
saying he's gonna win championship.
The 35-year-old dude. Okay, the Chad Reed of the goddamn
Whoa,
250 class here is fucking racing these 18-year-old kids. Like,
whoa.
at some point, it's gonna hit. He's gonna hit his mark like Chad does. It is this year, and he's not gonna do anything the entire season.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. There's no way he doesn't do anything. He was a podium guy last year on the West Coast.
All right. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of... I mean, maybe.
Well, this is Coast.
You know he ain't going to win a title because
No.
the title, he's got to move up, and he doesn't want to do that.
Well, he's got to move up anyways now.
So,
he's going to have to move up after this year.
Well, I don't... Yeah, maybe. Unless they change the rules again.
Yeah, I doubt
which they
that's
could. So...
I'm not saying he's going to win the championship. I don't think Martin's ever going to win a championship. I just think that if we're talking about how this is not as stacked as the West Coast, and to say that he can't even have a shot to get a win or get on the box, it's a little bit exaggerating. Like, that's a little over the top. I mean, you're talking about a bunch of guys that, aside from Osborne, and up until last year, Osborne never did anything, that haven't really done much in Supercross. So you're talking about a guy that, aside from Osborne, is more accomplished than just about everybody else.
I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see this week. So, all right. That's it for PC. Next team. All right, next team, Monster Energy Star Yamaha. That's weird to say.
I like this
Dylan
team.
Ferrandis, Colt Nichols. You like this team? Like, you think they're going to do really well? You like them?
Yep, very well.
I think Ferrandis is going to be a podium guy most of the year.
I think Ferrandis is going to get wins.
Bold.
Not really, considering how well he did his rookie year.
It's true, but maybe.
I'm just saying, if he could build, if he has anything, he's going into this season looking at, hey man, I was not expected to do any well. I was never going to be a Supercross guy, even though he is the smoothest guy in the class, and there's nobody that can argue otherwise. I did that well. I got a podium. Was pretty much a top 5 guy the whole entire year, other than maybe like one round, and I think it was Vegas. He's on a good bike. His starts are on point, and he made it through a whole year in the United States without, you know, wanting to say, I'm going to go back home and I don't really care about getting money. Because there was a lot of talk at the end of outdoors. They're like, yeah, maybe this guy doesn't come back for the next year. He just wasn't adapting to American culture, and I don't blame him. Like, it's hard for anybody to do that. I have a lot of faith in Ferrandis because of the fact that Supercross fits his style more than it does outdoors.
Okay.
And outdoors, he got to win.
Sure.
I think that he is going to have the biggest jump of anybody in the class compared to where they were last year. And that's why I say he gets wins. Because I think that, once again, it's a big building block for him to know that he was not a Supercross guy. I mean, the only time he would ever race Supercross is Bercy and Genoa. And other than that, he would barely ever even touch Supercross track. And he went in right away and got top 5s, which was the stat coast last year. I mean, for God's sakes, you could say other than Osborne and Savacci, he was the fastest guy in the class because he beat AC, he beat Jordan, even though Jordan was a little bit further along than him, obviously. Nichols, on the other hand, though, man.
Until we see it.
His speed's there. We know his speed's there. He just, once again, another guy that gets hurt all the time.
And can't put it together.
I don't know. What do you think?
With Nichols?
No, with Ferrandis.
I think he's a podium guy the whole season.
Okay.
That's what I think.
And
Nichols, I don't have a freaking clue. Don't ask me until we see it.
Okay.
I think he's got the speed that he could get on the box, but if he can't put it together, meh.
I think he's got to make something happen this year because I don't think he has another year on his contract.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I think if he doesn't make something happen this year, he's going to be in trouble getting a ride next year.
But he was great at the end of outdoors last year. He's top 5 guy every moto.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I think Nichols is the one guy that if he stays on 2 wheels, he's the most unknown because we know how fast he is. It's just he hasn't been able to put it together. I think that he's one of those guys that if he can keep it on 2 wheels, might surprise everybody. He might be the talk of the East Coast.
Maybe.
So.
All right. Next team. All right. Red Bull KTM.
You can start off.
Sean Cantrell, Jordan Smith.
You can start off since I started off with Star.
So Smith is a title contender, correct?
Oh, I'm surprised you even said that. Really?
Smith is a title contender. Notice I said contender.
Okay.
Correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, great. He proved last year he could actually keep it off the ground until Vegas. And,
and had he not got hurt at Vegas, he would have been the East champion.
Yep. So, now Cantrell. Smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Looked all right outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's going to translate inside.
Yeah, I don't really know either because he was supposed to be on the West Coast.
Big question mark.
Yeah, he was supposed to be on the West Coast. Had an injury, I think, 2 weeks before A1. Bumped into the East Coast and then actually moved Amart over because Amart was originally supposed to be on the East Coast with Jordan Smith, pretty much the same team as last year. He's a West Coast guy. I don't really even know where he's been training. I think he's been training at the Baker compound just because Tyler Rattray and the TLD guys usually go down there and stuff other than Jordan Smith. If he's adapted to the East Coast tacky dirt, deep ruts, he's smooth. He's not one of those guys that weights the pegs. He doesn't ride with his legs, but he is a smooth guy. If he can adapt to that, I think he can do very well. But it's a very big transition going from West Coast hard pack blue groove to tacky ruts from the entering of the section to the exiting of the section and just knowing how to move side to side but still keeping the bike centered underneath you. I think that if he has adapted well to East Coast dirt, Cantrell's a top 5 guy because his speed is there. But, man, he's one of those rookies that's like, you're a little nervous for. Kind of like with Faulkner because you're like, is he going to hit the ground? Is he going to hit the ground? No, he didn't hit the ground. Jordan Smith, though, I am very high on the Jordan Smith train. Very, very high.
You're driving that Jordan Smith train.
I'm driving the Jordan Smith train. Dude,
okay.
Had he not hit the deck in Vegas last year, he was your East champion, and we wouldn't even be talking about how great Zach Osborne is.
This is true.
It's true. Like, nobody can deny that.
No.
Like, even you, and you're the biggest Zach Osborne supporter. Like, he doesn't... Jordan Smith even finishes that main and doesn't get a top 5. He still wins the championship.
Yep.
I think it was just one of those cases where he had good finishes outdoors in Supercross, but because he was never even in a position where he was top 3 in points, and all of a sudden, bam. Like, you go down to the last race and you just finish the race and you're a champion. I think got in his head mentally. He had already made a mistake earlier in that main. I am on the Jordan Smith train. He proved in Supercross that he can keep it together for the whole year. He got 2 wins last year. It's almost, I don't know if I'd say a guarantee, but you almost got to think that if he can get 2 wins last year, that he's going to get at least 3 this year or more. I'm on the Jordan Smith train. I don't think that in Supercross, outdoors is a different thing. That kid had any weak part of his game last year because, dude, even at the beginning of the year, he wasn't even great. And then all of a sudden he just comes out and wins Detroit and then wins the next weekend. And you're looking in Vegas and you're like, oh, dude, Jordan Smith can win this championship.
So is he your title favorite?
He's my title favorite.
Interesting.
He's my title favorite.
Very interesting.
Because he doesn't have the pressure to win the championship.
This is true.
You know, you're not Tyler Keefe and all those guys at TLD saying, oh, you're going to win the championship because they didn't win it last year. So, for me, he's my title favorite.
And I think he's a contender.
Okay.
All right, cool. That it for KTM then?
Yeah.
All right, great. Next team. All right, Geico Honda.
1 second. I got a question.
Oh boy, here we go.
No, like, because we've been doing this off numbers of where we think the teams are at. I'm a little shocked that you put Geico 1 team under as stacked-wise compared to Husky, and only, obviously, because Husky with Osborne. I'm a little surprised because, for the most part, I think you're pretty much down on all 3 of these guys.
Geico... Nah, dude, I like the McAdoo train.
Well, I know
I'm
that,
on the
but
McAdoo
because
train.
we were both but we were kind of up and down on it last year.
Yes, I like the McAdoo train. Hampshire, I think this is a big year for him, and I think he can do well, and he showed kind of that outdoors and a little bit inside last year. Yes. J-Mart's the one I'm down on.
Here we go.
But I do think, okay, even though I know we're going to talk about Husky last, and that's because Zach's the defending champion, and that's what we talked about. But I think Geico has the strongest overall team. I think... I think if you take, okay, so even say you drop the low or the highest guy, I think they still are going to have a better average than everyone else.
Well, I'm on the McAdoo train as well, and like I told you, I don't know if this was one of the texts you did or didn't read, but he's been under the tutelage of Justin Brayton at Club MX.
Yep.
So he's learning. He's another one of those guys that speed was not an issue last year. He came out and he was a rocket ship. But because he rested a little bit too much on his natural talent sometimes and overrode the track, now he's learned be precise, be calm, let things come to you, and even when you're not feeling it, take the points. Justin Brayton is teaching that because we know that Justin Brayton is one of the smoothest guys riding a dirt bike in the world, especially in this year. I think that with having Brayton as his mentor, I think that McAdoo is finally going to live up to what we all thought he's going to do, and I think that he will, for certain. We've talked about guys could be in the top 5, but we don't know. I think that if McAdoo is riding like what I've seen from training clips, he's going to be a top 5 guy every weekend. Because last year, it was, I think if you could have said speed-wise, he should have been a top 5 guy every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was it? Was it East Rutherford when he led almost the whole entire heat race? And I think it might have been Zacho that got around him on like the last lap or whatever.
Like that. Seems right.
So, I mean, speed's not the issue. It's just stop relying so much on your natural talent and rely on your technique. And if he's learned to do that, I think McAdoo is going to be a top 5 guy.
Sure.
Hampshire, though, I don't...
God, there's a big question mark underneath the dark cloud that's over him.
What do we think of his speed?
I think speed-wise, he's got it.
Do you think he's a top 3 guy when his speed-wise?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think he just has this dark cloud over him, and, I mean, dude, how many times did his bike blow up outdoors? That he was
4 or 5
running well.
times.
Yeah.
Like top 5?
So...
Well, he's got his own compound now. He literally has his own tracks to ride at, so that's definitely going to help that you don't have to worry about going and, hey, man, are you going to be at the track? Is it groomed? Is it watered? He's got his own place. I think it's called like the 402 compound or something.
Interesting.
But let's get into J-Mart for a second. Dude, we go round and round. Okay, let's talk about this. Me and Travis have very different opinions on J-Mart's Supercross career. You like to always, and Matt does the same thing, you know, guys always like to talk about, well, he's the only factory guy to miss mains and this and that. But yet those years that he missed mains, he got top 3 in points. How many guys do you know that can miss mains and still get top 3 in points in the 250 class?
James Stewart, all day long.
James Stewart never missed a main ever.
125 class, he could have stopped. He could have quit racing 3 races early.
But James Stewart
never missed in on the West Coast. He won the title. That was
James
it.
Stewart never missed a main in the 125 class.
That's because he's James Stewart.
That is because it's different between J-Mart and James Stewart.
So
let's be real,
dude.
I just don't. I get last year.
He's the only factory guy I've seen since I've come back in the last 5 years to miss a main, not because of a crash.
And it's valid.
He just...
But what does that tell you about his other races, though, that he could miss a main and still get top 3 in points?
But he hasn't even... How many races has he won? Not that many.
How many races has he won?
5?
Something
in the
like that.
last 3 years? 5? Maybe?
Okay, so let's not count last year because he knocked himself out and he got hurt, so he didn't even complete the whole season.
Okay.
So go back to 2016, his last year, and he got 3rd in the points.
I remember...
And he had the red plate.
Walking off the track with the bars broken in Indy or Detroit.
Okay, that's
like that.
No,
like
I've never disputed. I've never disputed that. He is not. I've never argued for that because I was there those times that he didn't make mains. He was terrible, and it was mostly because of the whoops, because of his stature. What I'm getting at is, how many guys do you know that could miss a main in the 250 class and still get top 3 in points? So what does that tell you about his other races?
I guess, but man, it's like Tomac, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have this dark cloud over him because you always are gonna focus on the bad more than the good.
Yes.
So yes, he's finished 3rd. He's won races. He's done this, that, and the other thing. But then you go, well, he didn't even make these 2, 3, whatever it was, mains, okay? You know, so that's what you're going to focus on. Okay. And you're not going to focus on the good stuff. And so, I don't know, man. It's a huge clusterfuck. And he is just a riddle wrapped in a conundrum, wrapped in everything else. I mean...
Biggest thing is I just don't understand why you don't have faith in him when he's, other than Osborne, the most accomplished guy in the class. And I get and take the mains out of it because that's the logical way of looking at things. If you're going to look at it as a broad spectrum, the last year he raced Supercross a full year, he got 3rd in the points. So you can talk about not making the mains, and that's understandable. I would never dispute that. I can never defend a guy that doesn't make a main, at least in the 250 class, when you have been a 2-time champion, whether it was outdoors or not. You know how to win championships at that point.
You can ride 50% at the skill level he has. You should be able to ride 50% and still make a main in the 250 class.
Well, part of the problem is those 2 races that he didn't make mains or 3 or whatever, he got dead last off the start and then hit the ground, so that would have made it worse. If he had not hit the ground, he probably would have never missed those mains. So I understand that. I just don't understand how you don't have confidence in him when the last time he completed a full year, he got third in the points.
He hasn't, dude, plain and simple, he hasn't won a title. He hasn't. As much hype as he has.
How many other guys in this class
as much
won a title?
As much money as he has, as much as he has accomplished outside, okay, he should have won a title. And he hasn't put it together yet. So that's where I lack the commitment to him at this point, is he hasn't put it together. The skills, the amount of money he's getting paid, the hype around him, not as a rookie. This is an established guy. This isn't rookie hype. This isn't, oh, he's going to do great. We've never seen him ride Supercross, but he's going to do great. This is established hype, and he still hasn't put it together. Makes my confidence real small. Real small. It's just that simple, man. If he wins the title, the confidence comes up. Kind of like a Barsha thing this year, okay? The more he proves me wrong with stuff, the higher the confidence comes up in him. Maybe he wins the title, and maybe I go,
I'm not saying he's going to win the title. I'm not saying he's going to win the title, but I think that
he's not going to win the title, but okay.
I think to look at it as the fact that you have to win a title to have confidence in somebody is a little jaded. Because none of these guys other than Zach Osborne and J-Mar have won a title.
But see, you say it's jaded, but I don't have confidence in, it's not necessarily that I have less confidence in him than any of these other guys we've talked about so far. But I don't have any more than any of these other guys because he's in the same boat. Yeah. As you just said, he's in the same boat.
Yep.
He hasn't ever won a title in Supercross.
Yes.
So, in my mind, this slate's all the way the same on everyone other than Zach this year.
Okay, that I understand. It's just when we've had these conversations, you make it sound like you have more confidence in a guy like a Ferendis or a Jordan Smith or a Martin Davalos than J-Mar, because aside from Zach Osborne, J-Mar's the most accomplished guy riding a 250, period.
No, these guys are all, okay, there may be different levels underneath the level of J-Mar here, but there's no one going any higher or lower unless they've won a title at this point. So, okay, Ferendis, J-Mar, Hampshire, Davalos, Faulkner, Smith, those guys are all on the same level. There isn't a higher level of that.
Faulkner maybe a little bit lower.
And again, with him, it's, well, you have all of this hype as an established dude that you should be a title guy. I mean, hell, when he signed to Geico, that was a huge move, and he got paid a lot of money to move over there.
Which he deserved it because he's won 2 championships.
Outdoors, yes. But in Supercross, it doesn't, I don't. Maybe he'll make all the mains this year, man. And we won't be having this conversation again.
Well, he's definitely going to make all the mains this year.
Maybe.
Well, the last time he missed a main was 2015.
Well, he also didn't win an outdoor title on such a great bike last year, so.
Well, you kind of just hit the nail on the head. It wasn't a great bike.
Well, whatever. Now he's got a new bike.
It's better.
So anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a podium guy, okay?
Well, he's won.
He can win.
Yeah, he can win.
So he'll do well. He'll do well. He may be, again, top 3, whatever. Okay, cool. So that's fine. But he's not.
I'm not saying he's going to win the championship, so let's get that straight. I'm not trying to make a case for him winning a title.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make
he's not.
Well, you don't know that.
We still have another guy to talk about.
Did any of us expect Jason Anderson to have a 28-point lead in the 450 class?
No, but we didn't really know in that class either.
Well,
we also didn't expect Tomac to hit the deck and fuck his shoulder up the first round.
You were also wrong. Anyways, let's never say that nobody's going to win a title because you don't know, because nobody expected the next guy we're going to talk about to do what he did last year.
This is also true. So anyway, is there anything else with Geico before we move on?
Really, not really.
So that's Geico. Now we're going to move on to the last team in the class. All right, here we are.
This is Travis's favorite thing to do, this guy that we're about to talk about next. It's his favorite guy to talk about in the world.
What's the Mosman's kid's first name?
Mike Mosman.
Mike.
His brother is Josh.
I couldn't remember. I was having a brain fart. So we're going to talk about Rockstar Husky now.
Mike Mosman is a question mark, guys. From everything that I've heard, he rode the...
It's a big question mark.
Yeah, what happened was he was supposed to be originally on the West with, it was supposed to just basically be him, and then Mitchell and Zach were supposed to be on the East. Michael, they didn't think he was ready 100%. I don't think it was an injury. They just didn't feel he was comfortable because he never really rode Supercross up to that point. Goes to do the Ricky Carmichael road to Supercross. Makes a couple mains. Best finish was like a 7th, so not good enough to get your points. Apparently, from what I've heard, he's hit the deck a couple times and knocked himself out. So it's not even 100% sure that he's even going to be riding East Coast. They might just say screw it and get healthy for outdoors. So Mike Mosman is a big question mark.
We don't know if he's even riding, so we're not going to comment.
He doesn't even have his points.
Yeah, so he's not riding at this point. But the other guy on the All Rockstar Husky team.
This is going to be... This is Travis's boy, which...
Back-to-back championships, buddy. Woo!
Dude, I don't understand how you have so much confidence in this
Hey,
kid.
just wait till he goes outdoors and spanks some people around in the 450 class we're not expecting.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever. We'll get into that for the outdoors, but you're lit.
All right. So, Zach Osborne.
How do you have so much confidence in this dude?
What percentage do you have against him winning the title?
Well, I just told you that Jordan Smith's my title favorite.
So what percentage do you have against? Let's do a percentage pie here.
I don't know. I think it's one of those situations for most guys, it's a 50-50 shot. It's a 50% he repeats and it's a 50% he doesn't. Because you don't know. Because who... Okay, we're just going to get into this.
Hey,
hold on. This is going to be the long part of this discussion because me and Travis are very different on this. Zach Osborne was not expected to do what he did last year and he came out. So how can you have so much hype that he's going to do it again when he was not expected to do it?
Because at the bakery, they bake champions, buddy.
Really? They bake champions? Really, they make champions. How's Brock Tickle doing?
Ryan Dungey.
Ryan Dungey had already won a bunch of championships before he ever went to the Eldon factory.
Ryan Villapoto
had already won a bunch of championships before he went to the Baker compound.
Ricky Carmichael.
Ricky Carmichael had already won a million championships before he ever went to the Baker compound.
Whatever you want to say. And now we're on to Zach Osborne.
So Zach Osborne, a dude that has been in the class for 11 years till last year.
And wasn't expected to do anything.
Wasn't expected to do anything.
Won 2 titles.
Won 2 titles. So, how do you have so much confidence?
Won 2 titles with the heart of a champion.
Did Cooper Webb not win 2 titles the year before? Did Cooper Webb not win 2 titles the year before?
Cooper Webb did win 2 titles the year before.
So, my point is that shit happens in the 250 class.
Sure.
Okay, so why is your confidence so high with Zach Osborne that he can repeat when he wasn't even expected to get top 3 last year? Comes out and wins, and I've never taken anything from Zach. I don't like Zach, but I've never taken anything away from him. He won those championships fair and square. Other than you can say the Supercross title. He wasn't expected to do anything. So how can you say definitively that somebody like a Jordan Smith or a Dylan Ferendis won't do the same damn thing he did last year, except it hasn't taken them 11 years on a dirt bike to do it?
Zach Osborne's coming out with all the confidence. He's got his program together.
Okay.
He looked great all last year.
Okay.
That's it. Plain and simple. I mean, I don't know what else you want from me. He has everything in place that he wants to have in place. Okay, he's finally found that spark. Okay, 10 years. I know you're gonna keep harping on it. 10 years in the class.
10 years is a long time, dude.
Martin Davalos been there 13.
Martin Davalos has never won a championship. That's why we're not talking about him in the same light.
But anyway, so he has everything in place now. Okay. He is a happy dude on a dirt bike. We've seen what that can do. Look at Justin Barsha.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got all that. You're happy. Not only are you happy and you're doing well, you're coming off of 2 titles. You are the man. You are thinking you are the man. You have all the confidence, everything going your way. You are ready to go. You have the trainer you want. I don't see where there's a lack of confidence in what's going on right now.
All right, so 3 things to that then.
Oh God, 3. We didn't even just go with a thing.
No, 3 things. First off, you talk about how everything's in place for Zach Osborne to succeed, and I'm not disputing that at all. Everything is in perfect place. He's good. You know, he has another kid on the way. Everything's good in his home life. He's with his trainer. He's on a great team, a great bike. Same bike pretty much as last year, other than maybe a fine-tuned tweaks. But there's 3 things that you need to remember with Zach Osborne. He's been in the class for 11 years. He finally gets over the hump and wins 2 championships. Outright. He straight up won them. First thing, never won a championship before. Okay? So how do you know after all this time, 11 years to finally win a championship in the class, going to the 450 class for outdoors, he just doesn't say screw it and get content with his program and thinking he doesn't have to work as hard because he's this outstanding favorite to win it. Everybody thinks he's going to blow the doors off everybody else, which, once again, I'll remind everybody, going into the East-West shootout, he wasn't even the points leader. Zach Osborne wasn't going to win that race had Jordan Smith not gone down or Joey Savacci had not had the meltdown of all meltdowns. Okay, so let's not forget that. Outdoors, definitively, he was gone. He won it after, like, even though he came down the last round, he added up at the 10th round. Okay, so how do you know that he's just not going to be content and do the same thing he did last year, not thinking that anybody else is going to step up?
That's not his attitude. We've never seen that.
We don't know. He's never won a championship before.
All right.
Okay, second thing. Zach Osborne has never gone through adversity. Last year, when he had bad luck, all the guys that he was racing also had bad luck. Talking about the Millville thing when he blew the valve cover off. The bike lasted. He was still running fourth. His counterpart that would have just won a race before that, Joey Savacci, was struggling. AC was struggling.
I would argue he's gone through more adversity than any of these other guys. Hell, he had to go to Europe and rebuild his career. I'm
not talking about the Europe experiment. I'm talking about he's never had adversity when he's won a championship or been in a spot to win a championship. You don't know how he's going to do with the nights that, say he just isn't off and he gets an 8th.
What about like Detroit, where he got tied up in the first corner?
Everybody else that he was racing didn't win. Jordan Smith had just won his first race. Jordan was 5th in the points. It's not like Joey Savacci went out and won that race and then got his gap higher by like 20 points or some shit or whatever it was. AC had gone down. Ferendis was riding good. Okay? So, Osborne has never had a night where he's off and then been expected to win a championship. So, how do you know how he's going to handle it? Say he just gets 8th in one race. Say he just gets 8th. Has bad luck, gets 8th. And everybody else he's facing wins. Or gets 2nd, or gets 3rd. He's never had to go through that. And finally, and last but not least, he's never been expected to win a title in his entire career. We know how guys in this industry do when they have a lot of pressure. It's one thing when you have your own expectations and your team of guys. You never had the whole industry saying, dude, you're the overwhelming favorite to win this title. He's never had to deal with that before. How do you know that mentally that's not going to creep it into his mind and you could say, well, he's got the heart of champion, this and that. Look how much hype was around Cooper Webb when he went to the 450 class and then what happened. What happened to Cooper Webb when he went to the 450 class? And I can say that Cooper Webb is a hell of a lot mentally stronger than that Zach Osborne up until last year.
Maybe.
How do you say maybe? The dude just came off 3 straight championships.
Well, all right. Yeah, you're right on that.
Okay, so my point is that I'm not saying Zach Osborne can't win this championship because that'd be just foolish. But it's a little disrespectful to all these other guys to think that he's just the overwhelming favorite. When Cooper Webb, after winning a championship, wasn't even the overwhelming favorite his year afterwards. Because everybody's like, oh, Joey Savacci, he's riding good. He's doing this. You know, I think Jordan Smith was in the class. He just came off his best finish. And then Christian Craig, the newfound Christian Craig, had just done well the year before that. So, I don't know how everybody can say that, oh, it's just a signed, sealed, and delivered. I saw this morning on, what was it? I don't know if it was Instagram or one of the message boards. Somebody said that Zach Osborne's going to win 9 races. He's going to win all of them. He's not going to win one race.
I don't think that. Let's not get that crazy. I'm not that far out in left field. I think he's going to win the title. But, I mean, I think when you say, well, he didn't go through adversity. Okay, well, he had the Detroit debacle. Mm-hmm. Was there something else in Supercross last year that he?
No, he was sick the week later, but he still got 4th.
Yeah, okay.
So he's never really gone through adversity.
And then he had outdoors where he did not just go out and dominate outdoors.
No, he didn't.
He had to win that title.
Yeah.
He had to win it. So to say he's never been through the adversity to do it is fine. I will give you the point of he's never had expectations on him. He didn't have it last year. Mm-hmm. So, and he won the titles, okay, great. Now he does have it. So I'll give you that. That might crack him. Mm-hmm. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But that guy is my overwhelming favorite.
I'm fine with that. You're just like everybody else in there.
I think
I just don't know how everybody can jump on him.
And we've discussed this too, okay? You keep comparing him to Cooper Webb, okay? Mm-hmm. Cooper Webb has a completely different attitude than Zach Osborne does.
Yeah, he's cockier.
Yes.
Which is better because
100% and 100 times.
Yes.
Which I've told you when we were discussing this in the group chat about the 450s, could be part of the downfall of Cooper Webb because he went in thinking, I'm the man, I'm going to show these dudes what's up.
Because he got it.
And then when he didn't, all of a sudden it was like, shit. Which, okay, yes, was he justified in it? Probably. Mm-hmm. I mean, he'd gone to designations twice on a 450 and done really well there. So, okay, yeah, was it justified? But we don't have that with Zach. I feel like Zach's still very, very timid and very down to earth in that sense. He is not the cocky, outgoing guy like Cooper Webb was.
He's cocky in the sense that he is a little too aggressive with guys on the track. Whether you want to perceive that as being cocky, he's not dirty, but he's borderline with some of the moves that he makes, and people could say, well, he's pushing towards the front. There's a couple times throughout the season last year that he did not have to run it in on deep. And I think that's another thing that's going to bite him. I think guys now, because there are few returning guys in Ferendis and in Hampshire and Jordan Smith, that he got into it with last year, specifically Jordan Smith. There was a few times. I think one of them was at Daytona. One of them might have been in St. Louis in the heat race, whatever, that he got into it with, that maybe if he's coming through the pack, maybe guys aren't a little bit so nice to him and they start returning the favor. I'm not saying that Zach Osborne cannot win this championship. I just think it's disrespectful to other guys that just because he won 2 straight championships doesn't mean that he should just, oh, we're just going to announce him. We shouldn't even race the series. For all we know...
Sure, I mean, we could just pack it up early. Just
yeah, for all we know, Dylan Ferendis can do what Zach Osborne did last year and go out and just win every race.
Maybe.
Because Zach Osborne has never done this back-to-back years is why I'm down on this whole thing.
Would make it interesting. So, all right, well, so Smith's your title pick?
My top 3 in points, I have Ferendis 3rd, Osborne 2nd, and Jordan Smith, but I think it's going to literally be like 1 point in Vegas. I think Jordan Smith and Osborne are the overwhelming favorites to get the most wins of anybody.
Yes.
Because like I said, I can't harp on this enough time. Jordan Smith should have been your East Coast champion last year.
Sure.
Are we in agreement on that? That if he doesn't go down, he wins that championship.
Well, yeah.
So, Mike, before you give, I just got one last thing then. If Osborne doesn't win that Supercross championship, is he the overwhelming favorite going into this year?
No.
Okay. I just want to be clear on that because I haven't heard a lot of that people like are talking about that. That he got lucky in Vegas, and I know everybody says, "Oh, you make your own luck." Well. You'd have 2 guys have a bad race for you to win a title.
I mean, he did make his own luck. We all saw him clean out Savachi there at the end.
Yeah, he did.
He made his own luck, but whatever. Oh, top 3. You erased my board. Shit.
Ferendis, Hampshire, McAdoo, Colt Nichols, Sean Cantrell, Jordan Smith.
Well, I think Smith and Zach for sure are your top 2. And again, I give Smith a title shot, but not, you know, as much as Zach. 3rd. Okay. I don't know. Because I feel like there's a bunch of different guys you could toss in a hat. Like, you could put Ferendis in there. But who knows what he's actually going to do. You could put Jeremy Martin in there. Because obviously he's been in that position before.
McAdoo,
but
Hampshire.
Who knows? McAdoo, Hampshire.
Davalos, Faulkner, Cantrell, Nichols.
Maybe Marty? Maybe Marty in 3rd? Could put some stuff together?
I'm a little shocked on that because it sounded like to me you didn't even think he could get on the podium.
I don't know. I don't know who to put for 3rd. I'm just going to go with 2.
All right.
And I'm going to waffle.
That's fine. Who wins races this year? Is it just Jordan Smith and Zach Osborne in your opinion? Because Osborne won 4 last year. Jordan won 2.
Maybe Ferendis gets 1.
So how many wins does Osborne and Jordan get?
They win the rest of them. I don't know who wins more.
Okay.
But.
Is it close at Vegas?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's all. Actually, you know what? I'm a little bit happy that you said that. Because the whole vibe that I'm getting...
By close is 10 or less.
Still. So with the way you were making it sound, you made it sound like nobody...
Here we go again. You kind of misinterpreted my text.
No, I understand that.
Is that I don't think that Osborne's going to win every single race. Whoever's out there saying that, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you're not winning every single race. But I think he's high and away the title favorite.
So they have 9 races. Zacho gets 3. Jordan gets 3. Zacho gets 4. Jordan gets 3. And then wild cards with the other 2. Is that what we're kind of looking at in your opinion?
Yeah, probably something like that. Somewhere in that range. I think it'd be cool.
Or Jordan gets 4, Zacho gets 4, and Ferendis gets 1.
Something like that, yeah. I think it's going to be one on the bad nights, as we always talk about, on the bad nights. And I think Zach's bad nights are going to be less worse than anybody else's.
Okay.
So, all right, cool. So, anything else before we wrap this up?
I'm good.
All right. So, that has been the 250 East Coast preview show from the Moto Aftermath show presented by TLR Coatings. Look them up for all your powder coating needs. Don't forget, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us on Facebook, click the links in the description for everything you could ever want, from t-shirts to Amazon's shit. Yes.
Dogs.
Yep. So anyway, we will see everyone after Dallas here, and then we'll know more about this class. So thanks for watching. We'll see everybody after Dallas.